is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. This program contains mature content and may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Don't trouble the water. I won't leave it alone. Why don't you let it be? Still water run deep. Yes, it do. I know that. Oh, yeah. If you only believe.
Bridge over water. Just like a friend that can't be found. I am your bridge over troubled water. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kendenique Campbell, and I am here on Guardian Radio 96.9, Fresh News, Smart Talk all day. And we're going to have a conversation this evening. This is another sexy Tuesday. Isn't it nice and balmy out? Can I be the first to wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year? Christmas has started. The weather has changed. The time has changed. And everyone's watching their Hallmark movies and having popcorn and eggnog. And, oh, man, it's time for love under the mistletoe. But this evening, we're talking about seed time and harvest. I'm Lee, and welcome to another empowering edition of Kenny's Korner here on Guardian 96.9. I'm your host, Kendenique Campbell-Moss. And tonight we're going to dive into the principle that crosses cultures, religion, and applies to every single one of us. Whether you're a person that thinks about faith, whether you're a dreamer, a skeptic, or simply someone trying to figure out why life works the way it does. Our topic for the night is seed time and harvest. Now, some of us grew up hearing that phrase in church, some learned it in agriculture classes, and some discovered it the hard way through life experiences. But no matter where you stand spiritually, the truth is everything we do, choices we make, the habits we form, the words we speak, even the thoughts we entertain are seeds. And life in its own time and place always produces a harvest. So tonight, we're having an honest, layered conversation, not just about money, not just about faith, but about the mindset, the discipline, the purpose, the consequences, the blessings, and the universal law of cause and effect. Whether you believe it's biblical, scientific, or just common sense, we all know that you can plant apples, but you cannot expect to get oranges. You can plant chaos, but you cannot expect to get peace. And you can't plant anything without expecting to get something. So stay with us, lean in, think, question, reflect. And if you feel bold enough, call in. The numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, or 325-4259. Let's challenge the point. Let's have an open, honest dialogue, because the goal tonight is not an argument, but it's agreement. An understanding we can all agree to disagree. It's understanding and it's growth. So let's get into it. Good evening. How are you?
I'm cold.
It is a bit chilly in here.
Otherwise, all is well.
It is a bit chilly. I brought my jacket. I know if Tavio sees me with this jacket on, he's going to be peeved. But this is my sorority jacket. I earned this, and I like to wear it all the time. And it's the red brings out, my sorority colors as a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Introduce yourself to our listening audience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Racquel Miller. I am the CEO and founder of Beauty Beyond Feelings organization, which inspires, uplifts, and motivates through community service and events.
Okay. Now, we're talking tonight about springtime and harvest,
Seed time and harvest.
seed time and harvest. What does that mean to you?
For me, it's wherever I may be in a season.
Right.
For me, I've come to an understanding that seasons change.
Right.
For me, I've also come to an understanding that seed time and harvest is everyday life,
Okay.
right? In the Bible, it says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. So it's always going to be a part of life. For me, I've learned how to cultivate my seed, knowing the season that I'm in. So, for an example, if I'm transitioning from my job, I know the seeds that I have to sow is to invest in an equipment that I'm trying to, so I'm doing hair. So I know that I have certain equipments that I have to use, certain equipment that I have to purchase, certain people that I have to have conversations with, certain rooms I have to be in. Those are all seeds.
Okay. Now, I am a Roman Catholic. Okay. And I can honestly say to you, I have never sown a seed. I don't think that I've ever tithed in my entire life.
Okay.
But I do put in collection. When the offering plan comes in, we always have envelopes. I put that in, but I don't ever taught the principles of tithing. Now, I have not been in the Catholic Church for a mass since my mother passed. That's about 16, 17 months I've not been in the Catholic Church. When I did go to church for Easter break, I told you all the people put me on the choir. Carl put me on the choir after I'd already been to practice. My daughter was in the choir doing a part, and Carl came to me on the church step and said, I don't need you in this choir, and you owe me for your mother's funeral. I didn't turn the church inside out, but I was peeved. All right? Now, let's just let the record reflect that. If anyone's looking for me, they could always find me. Carl said, I owed him for my mother's funeral. Now, keep in mind, I'm a part of the St. Francis Xavier's Cathedral Choir, 8:30 Mass. I digress. Valentino Williams is where I go. I go to Life Changes Ministries when I do go to church.
Okay.
Right? And I get something from that service. I get what he says. I understand the principles. And so last month, for the very first time in my life, I tithed. And I think that from my mom had closed her eyes, I've not seen a broke day. I've never begged bread, but I've never had a broke day. And I understand now the principles of tithing. I also understand what it can do for you as a human being. And I understand the laws of it. I heard people say that they would do it, but I'd never ever done it. Some of the questions that I have here for you today that people would have sent, inboxed me. If your faith experience is seed, time, and harvest only about money, or is it about repercussions of God? That is a question for you. What is seed, time, and harvest literally and figuratively about?
Seed time and harvest is not only money.
Okay.
It could be time. It could be faith. Because if you're sowing seeds, it has to be for a specific reason. For me, with the tithing situation, I had to learn the principle of tithing.
Okay.
We may have our opinions on the Bible, but one thing I do know is that principles don't change. And once you get the principle, you get a better understanding of what it is that you're doing, what you're doing it for. And so, and sometimes you're in places where people ask you to sow, but you don't get that nudge to sow. You don't allow that to make you feel guilty. Because oftentimes, you have persons in the church and they don't have the money to sow.
Exactly.
So then what do they do when they leave? Do they feel defeated? Do they feel that God is not going to show up for them because they did not sow a seed? I think sowing a seed is basically showing up for yourself. Right? Sowing seeds is also the words that we speak, right? Sowing seeds is also our heart. How does that look? I believe strongly that sowing seeds can come from generation. Like you said, you've never seen a broke day since your mom passed, it may be the seeds that she sowed and the life that she lived.
It may be. It truly may be. This is another question. Do you think God rewards effort, obedience, or both?
Obedience.
But when you say God rewards obedience, right? What is obedience? Is that whisper that says to you, don't do that. Don't send that message. Don't cuss out that person. Is that obedience?
That's obedience.
That's obedience.
Because it's beyond our feelings. It's beyond what we want to do. And I think I do believe that the majority of time when God asks us to do something, it's the reverse of what we want to do.
So that
How
is
we want to.
Okay. All right. Okay. This text seems to be from a non-believer, right?
Okay.
And this question is, can a person who doesn't believe in God still benefit from sowing and reaping?
Yes.
But what does it mean to say that I don't believe in God? What does that mean?
It's an opinion because one has experienced his grace. One have not encountered God. Like Saul on the road to Damascus. Saul didn't play with people. He killing everybody.
Everybody in the road dead.
He dead on arrival.
Right.
But he had an encounter with God. I have a lot of non-religious persons that have spiritual experience that can tell you that before I didn't believe, but now I do, because something in between that journey, something happened.
When you close your eyes, do you think you go into purgatory, or do you think you go either to hell or heaven?
I think you go to heaven or to hell.
There's no in between.
There's no in between.
Jesus have mercy. Okay.
There was a book that I read, Heaven is So Real by Chimmy Chu. And she talked about her experience with God and how God took her to these places in heaven. And she said, God took her to this, they passed this, it looked like a garden, but the flowers had withered away. And it was these persons that were just walking around in circles. And she asked God, who are those persons? And God said that those are the persons that say they know me, but deny my power. So you can be in the world and doing things of the world and expect people to respect you. You know, those are not good seeds. You know, in Psalms 1, it says not to stand in the way of sinners. You know, if we're going to walk this thing, let's walk this thing. Because a non-believer, you're going to get them confused.
Is that the same as being double-minded?
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Now, I am not save, okay? I just want I want the record to reflect that. When you say to yourself, I'm going to sow a seed, are you sowing it with the belief that if I sow this, I'm going to reap good rewards? Is that the principle behind the sowing?
It can be. It depends on one's perspective. When I sow, sometimes I don't need anything back. That could be my time. That could be my love. That could be a small gesture. You know, sometimes I'm walking by, even to work. I'm sowing a seed of hugs. You know, because it could be something that just tells me, hug this person.
Because they may need it.
Because they may need it. Whatever the seed is, just different things, different aspects
Of
life.
So this is another question from another texter. Is karma the same concept, or is it something different? What do you think? Because it almost sounds to me like when people sow a seed, they're also reaping what they sow.
When you sow, you reap, because you reap what you sow. It is correct.
Right.
I don't believe in karma per se, the word, but I believe that you get out of the world what you put in.
Okay.
If you put in negativity, you're going to get negativity. If you put in a nasty attitude, you're going to get negativity back. If you sow seeds of peace, you're going to be surrounded by peace. You know, it's like whatever it is, that seed looks like for you, that's exactly what you're going to get back.
Do you think people avoid responsibility by calling consequences fate?
I think they do, because a lot of people don't want to step back and be accountable for some things.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because a lot of people feel like if I could just make myself believe that I was right.
No accountability.
No accountability. You just have some people that are very strong-minded that this pen is blue. Me and you could see that this pen is
Black.
clear and black.
Right.
And it's to the point where they almost convincing you that this pen is blue simply because they don't want to take accountability that their perspective may just be wrong.
Okay. This is another question. Do you think cycles of poverty or success can be broken by new seeds, or does the system matter more?
Well, you could always go around systems, but I think, in all honesty, that can be turned around. A lot of people that are in poverty, if we be real, they have poor management skills. And then you have some who grew up in unfortunate situations, and it may be hard for them to get out.
Do you think that there's such a thing? Then this is not a question. This is my question. Do you think that there's such a thing as generational curses?
I believe they are. And then sometimes you can see it. If you be real with yourself and then you have a conversation with someone, your uncle, and they say, your mommy used to do this. Like the same thing what you doing, your mommy used to do.
And that's passed on.
And that's passed on. And it's not until you are brought to an awareness that you can not handle it, but tackle it the best way, for a better outcome.
Now, this is not a seed time and harvest question, but this question asks, I feel like I've wasted so many of my years planting the wrong seeds. Where do I start and why do I start over? I'm often wondering, I'm often wondering what is the seed planting for? How do you understand this? This person is saying if he feels or she feels that she's wasted years planting seeds, how do you answer someone like that? What do you say to someone that thinks that they have planted the wrong seed?
I don't think a person necessarily wastes a seed. I think you could always come back from something. Farmers do not sow a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. There's a process.
Right.
Sometimes rain don't come.
It doesn't.
Sometimes there's a stagnation in between the process. And what do? Do you give up?
No.
Do you throw in the towel?
No.
You just water. Water it with faith. Water it with patience.
How did you get to the point where you felt as if the seed time and harvest was important? How did you get here?
I had to deal with it myself.
Why?
Personally. Even on jobs, for example, I was a part of, I was in banking.
Oh, really?
And I was in banking, and I wanted a position.
Ha. All right.
And I was bypassed several times.
Okay.
Even from persons that have never experienced the position that I was applying for.
Okay.
And I realized in that moment, I was not so much liked. But I was persistent in knowing that the way in which we show up, even when it seems uncomfortable, even when it seems unfair, stewarding your seed is very important.
Right.
And after that, I prayed, and my aunt's friend, she called me and she said, be still. Because some things takes time. So what if I was impatient and I said, you know what, I gone because y'all ain't have nothing for me. But I showed up every day. I went the extra mile. I did what some people probably didn't know that I was going to do, which was continue to have that same bubbly attitude that I had. And in a matter of months, there were 2 managers who wanted me one time. So if this is any encouragement to anyone, for me, personally, nothing beats a testimony.
Nothing beats a testimony.
Nothing beats a test. We go through things in life, and that's why I said, I don't think seeds are wasted.
Right.
We have to learn from things that we go through in life. Nothing is never wasted. It's wasted when we don't recognize where we are and say, okay, I know that I can do better.
Right.
I know that I can be a better person, but what things am I putting in place for a better harvest?
You mentioned sowing seeds and harvesting and putting the right things in place and having a testimony. But what about people you know would have gone through certain things, but they refuse to share their testimony? They keep it for themselves. Is that being selfish, or is that the person just being private?
It could be the person being private, and it could also be a person feeling less than. You have a lot of people that feel stuck. They feel like they cannot, and some persons, they feel like, I can't catch a break.
Right.
Like every time something goes right, it never goes right for long. Like it's always something. But I believe that God takes us through a pruning process.
Okay.
So if I said I won this thing, and God said, okay, you won this thing, these are the things that you have to go through in order to attain this thing.
It's a process.
It's a process.
It's a
And
process.
sometimes it looks lonely for some people. Sometimes it looks like God isn't there.
Yes.
And sometimes the silence in the process
It's deafening.
is definitely loud.
Boy. But wait, right? You mentioned the fact that you wanted this specific position. I was at the Ministry of Tourism. I started just as I had finished my matriculation in university, and I started at the Ministry of Tourism. Vernice Walking gave me an opportunity, and from there, Obadiah, Hercules, Wilshcombe gave me an opportunity, and Erica Ingram gave me an opportunity, and I flourished at the Ministry of Tourism, and I wanted to get the post of Director of Communications. They said, you have to have a specialized master's degree in hospitality management. The then person in charge said, go and get it, and we'll give you the post. I got the degree, came back, no post. A telecommunications company made me an offer. I went to them as the Director of Operations. COVID came, downsized, no job. Mummy Hustle was formed. And my testimony, and a lot of things happened in between that time, mind you, but there's a lot that I could possibly share or impart on somebody else that is going through or would have gone through. My story is my story. I am not afraid to tell anybody what the story is. But you have some people that will not share. When you plant seeds, you're not planting, I think, for you.
No.
I think you're planting for the next person, or you're planting perhaps for your children.
Right.
And I wonder if we realize that if you share with me and I share with you, maybe we could have a different outcome. But we are so guarded in certain things, and we like to gatekeep so much. Will we ever share the trueness of what tithing or what sowing seeds could be? Because I could probably say, you know what, this woman child go into Xavier's, or this woman child go into wherever the child go in. Let me sow a seed, a graduation cap, or let me sow a seed for a semester, paying for a semester. There are different ways to sow seed. It doesn't always have to be to a church. But when you sow a seed, right? Seed time and harvest. Aren't you always expecting a harvest though to come?
In most situations, you are.
Should there be a situation where you say, I'm sowing the seed for my harvest to then come in?
Because, for example, you have some persons that sow a seed for their homes.
How do you mean? Like for a house?
For a house. It could be, like I said, seed isn't only money.
Right.
I don't feel like, in all honesty, that it's only money.
Okay.
Some people sow in faith.
Okay.
And what that looks like, that's like showing up, knowing that you ain't got no money.
Exactly.
That's some serious faith. If you want to get God attention, you do something crazy.
Show up with no faith.
Show up with no money.
No faith, no money. We just showing up because God says so.
I watch on TikTok, and this girl, she took a train. She took a train, Kenny, at a dealership just to see cars. And she said, I'm going to be driving before the end of the day. She went to the dealership with no money and she left with a car.
That's some crazy
That's some crazy. And you have some people that do that as well. Purpose doesn't stop because of circumstance. When you don't want to share something, God is going to use someone else that has a testimony. God is going to make sure that he watch over his word to perform it. So I put something in you, I take you through something. You find someone else to encourage. That's your seed. You've sown seeds of laughter and joy, Kenny.
Thank you.
And that's why I connected with you so much. I was like, this woman real.
Sometimes I'm a little bit too real and people get annoyed.
But that's
okay.
fine. That's you.
That's
you know,
fine.
that's
I'm
what
good with
makes
that.
you. That's what makes you unique. That's
I'm
what
good
makes
with
you
that.
special. You know, and with you hearing your story, you know, about the transition, God knows all things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I do question him, like, because when my 14-year-old sister passed away,
Yes.
it was hard. It was hard for me because, one, I was in denial. Two, I just really wanted the miracle of me saying that, you know, God has sustained my sister. But he had other plans.
Exactly.
And so with death, it made me fully understand that even though he takes away a loved one, his Holy Spirit brings comfort.
Okay.
And so for me, and then my grandmother suddenly passed. I just was saying in the car, I said, oh my God, Sandra, you leave me. You really leave me. Mm-hmm. And so I think even with still planning my event for this Saturday, it took my mind off of my emotions. And so I still could love. I still could show up.
You have to show up because
I have
somebody
to show up.
somebody is depending on you.
Someone's depending on me.
Now, we're going to take a quick break, and I want to talk to you about this event that you're having on Saturday. Is it only for women?
It's for women and men.
Because, you know, the men like to say...
The men like to go to things.
Yeah, they say a lot, like, when y'all having some stuff for us.
Yeah, but some of our events have been... A lot of men have been to our events.
I like that. And is it non-denominational?
Non-denominational.
So Catholics, Protestant...
Catholic, because my
atheists,
dad,
everybody
those
can
are
come.
Catholics.
Oh, what's your daddy's name?
Well, you probably know my Grammy name, Racquel Pinder. She's at St. Cecilia's.
St. Cecilia's. St. Cecilia's with Father Sim.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like going to St. Cecilia's because there's old early.
Yeah.
They don't waste no time. Bop,
Yeah.
bop, bop, bop.
In and out.
In and out.
No, but at the cathedral, you know, we have the drum and we be getting
But I
down.
grew up Baptist, baby. I had to go and fall asleep because I gotta wait for my mommy to come. Or to
Yeah,
church.
but I like the drum and I like the bang, then when they start,
And then when
the
for
singing.
Pentecostal, you be tired because by the time you
Oh,
finish,
Lord.
you're tired. Because
And
pastor
it's time
didn't
to
ask
eat.
you to say amen after. You understand?
We are going to be back, ladies and gents. We're talking about seed time and harvest. This is Kendenique Campbell, and you're listening to Guardian Radio 96.9. Even though we're talking about seed time and harvest, this is still another sexy Tuesday. You get that popcorn, get that glass of wine, put your leg over your loved one. We are going to be back after this quick break.
on their way. See how they shine. Oh, and if you ever need a friend, look around and sailing right. We have got the bridge over troubled water. I'll be there to lay me down like a bridge.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bump into a wall when she's running after the churn dam.
Yeah, but last Saturday, you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing.
The struggles we are facing. Life definitely is always lifing. And I want to take a moment. I just want to take a quick break. You were asking me something about Mommy Hustle. When we were on break, these earphones, I could not hear anything you were saying. I was so inundated with these messages from my child. I did not hear what you were saying. But Mommy Hustle is going.
Okay.
Mommy Hustle was born out of me not having any work. And I only had one friend that said to me, if you want to do Mommy Hustle, go ahead and do it. And her name is Charlene Barton. And she is my friend. And I have a very, very small circle. You spoke about pruning seasons and processing. And in the pruning season, in the process of waiting, and while you wait, God will strip you of everything. When I was at the Ministry of Tourism, people called me all the time, I need this, I need that, I need the next thing. It was done. I'm a cultural ambassador. Junkin was what I do. Culture is what I do. I am a Bahamian. When I was at Alive, right? I need a phone, I need a laptop, I need service, I need this, I need that. It was done. They would call me. But when I was out of work, the phone stopped ringing. And when I decided to form Mommy Hustle, some people said, oh, that's a ghetto name. I don't like how that sounds. Why are you saying Mommy Hustle? I'm a mother. And I have the tenacity of hustle. And I think when I said it to Charlene said, if that's what you want to do, then we're doing that. And Inland Revenue Services, NIB, I got everything that I needed to get. Charlene said she was behind me. And I want to say her dad's not doing 100% well. And whenever y'all go to pray, I know y'all have plenty of prayer warriors. I want you to remember Uncle Charlie for me, Barton. And Charlene is my very good friend. And on the weekend, her and my very, very small circle, they had a bridal shower for me. And they came through in marvelous colors. They swing me, though. They told me they were doing something. I was going to be presenting on morale in government. Bianca did the slide presentation. I gave her my information. They had a slide presentation. The slide presentation was beautiful. I was getting dressed. I was ready. Whenever I do outside events, I always get my makeup done. So I was on point.
Right.
But they swing me. In the pruning season, people that were with you and that are on the journey are not always the people that you start out the journey with. There's another friend of mine that's in the circle. She was my cousin's ex-wife. We went to school together. We didn't always get along, but we are fast and good friends now. Honesty and truth and loyalty is important as you age, as you mature in life as a woman. Another friend of mine, Lynette, she was there. She came through. My friend Latrinda, she did what she had to do. And these ladies stood in the gap for me. I don't have to wonder if I say something to them, if it's going to be repeated, who it's going to be repeated to, because I've made it very clear. If I'm telling you something, that ain't for you to tell your little friends.
Right.
Because me and them ain't no friends.
Right.
But in terms of a pruning season, I was listening to Joel Osteen this morning, and his topic was leave it alone. And there was a farmer, and the farmer had weeds growing wheat. And his workers said that he wanted them to pull out the weed. They wanted to pull the weed out, but Joel said, don't pull the weed out. Let it grow along with it, because if you pull the weed out along with the weed, it's going to destroy your harvest. When you reap it, then you pull the weed out. And that is a pruning process, because God pulled my weeds out. I don't have a lot of friends. Not everybody could stand me. Not everybody, I'm that type of person. It's either you do or you don't. And I have a very, very small circle. And those ladies that surrounded me and that celebrated me in this next part of my life, I'm thankful. When I broke my ankle, they would come to the house. They would make sure that I was taking it. The only thing they didn't do was bathe me. They refused to bathe me. But the pruning process is important, and you have to be mindful of what tithing and what life will bring you to. And when we were off camera, we spoke about not being bigger than the program. Because the same people that you see when you climb the ladder of success, you'll see them coming down if you have to come down. Because what goes up
Must come
come
Just
down.
give it some time.
Give it time.
Give it time.
And you have to look at your journey, because every journey is different. What I want for myself may not be what God wants for me, and He will direct you. He will give you the desires of your heart, but you have to be ready to listen to His will. When you speak about seed time and harvest, walk me through what's going to happen on Saturday. Tell me about seed time and harvest and what it means for you, what it means for your event.
So when the Lord gave me, because He gives me these visions. Sometimes I thought my husband thought I was crazy, but I'm someone who journal a lot.
Okay.
And so when I fall asleep, a paper and a pen is next to me. And sometimes I get up 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I get up 3 o'clock in the morning. I just write what I see, what I hear. I just write.
Right.
And so He gave me seed time and harvest, and I said, because I'm waiting for some things personally.
Yes.
I feel like God always charges me to come out of my feelings and do exactly what it is He's purposed me to do.
Okay.
And when my sister passed away, he whispered to me. He said, "Purpose doesn't stop because of circumstances.
Right.
People die, you still have to show up.
Right.
You don't feel good, you still have to show up. How about me not showing up when you need me?
We would all be in trouble.
We would all be in trouble." And so when He gave me seed time and harvest, it was almost like I feel a mandate to spread the message of having persons to understand whatever the seed is that they're sowing, to believe within their whole heart that they will reap a harvest. Harvest has to come.
It must come.
It has to come. And there are so many people, I talk to women on a daily basis that are trusting and believing God for some big things. And then some are trusting and believing God for some small things. Some persons are trusting and believing God to just mend their broken heart.
Yes.
Some persons are just trusting and believing God to allow them to trust again because of a broken relationship or friendship, you know? And so on Saturday, we have curated a space where women and men can feel love, they can feel community, they could feel fellowship. We brought something fresh and new to the Beauty Beyond Feelings event, which we call breakout sessions. I realized that in most of our events, when we start at 6, it's just the speakers. So I wanted to create a more intimate setting. So we have three groups. We have, thank you so much.
Isn't Chris a gentleman?
He is.
Listen, we have to find Chris.
He's some good man round, you know.
We have to find Chris the right girlfriend. You see how Chris bring that water for you?
Yeah, we have to.
I didn't even signal to Chris. You better let this girl know I need to meet her. Chris is that's a good man.
He's a good man because he pays attention.
Chris pays attention. Listen.
He heard me cough.
Chris, I send Chris my playlist and I say, Chris, I need this done. And by the time as I am in the studio, Chris has my music queued up. Chris know I like old people music. He don't mind. He plays whatever. And then when I finish the show, Chris sends me my Spotify and Kenny. I don't have to look around for my show. That's my boy. That's my man of business.
That's a man of business.
I'm telling you. Finish your story.
So we have three sessions. We have the sowing, we have the reaping, and we have the harvest.
Okay.
So we have the team members that are leading those sessions, more intimate sessions. So if it's something where that team member will walk them through.
Okay.
We have a few surprises. We have a lot of prizes and surprises throughout the night. We also have a harvest market where we have brought a few business persons.
Okay.
And so they'll be selling their products as well. So we encourage attendees to come and sow into those persons. Some of those persons just started businesses. Persons, get vendor booths for exposure, whatever that may be. We want, to show our appreciation to them by sowing a seed. And so we have Tarnisha Humphrey. She's coming in from Atlanta, Jefferson, Georgia.
Okay.
She's also a Bahamian native, but she lives abroad. And then we have Catherine Coakley. Not sure if you know her.
I do.
She's the founder of The Authentic Woman.
And she also used to cook. Does she cook anymore?
She also used to cook. I think she does private cooking for persons, but I think that's still her thing.
Okay.
So I know that it's going to be amazing. Like I said, we invite the men to come along as well because men go through things too.
They do.
Men need a little bit of appreciation to say, I see you.
I love you.
I love you.
And I thank you.
And I thank you.
I think men for the man that wants to be appreciated, a little bit of appreciation goes a very long way.
A very long way. I think we have this standard where we believe men are not supposed to feel. They're supposed to just brush off a feeling and just continue and carry on. But when I learned for myself in my marriage, when I handle my husband in a gentle way, I get a different reaction.
You get a different result. Yeah.
And I love the result, so I don't choose violence.
But
I can't. Not all the time, because my motor's my problem, Kenny.
I wouldn't shout. I would not shout. Oh, my phone is buzzing. I would not shout. My mouth is definitely my problem, and I have learned.
Yeah, I'm learning to be quiet.
I learned that part yet, but I'm learning some things.
I'm learning to be quiet. But overall, we're going to have an amazing time. We're going to have some vendors there. Going to have picture perfect booth for the ladies to take photos. We're also going to have an artist there that's going to do some sketches.
Okay.
And it is a free event. I got some heat for having a free event, but it's just something that God placed on my heart.
And if God placed that on your heart, then we're going to go with that.
Yes. And so this has been the second free event for the organization, and moving forward, all of our events are going to be absolutely free. I just believe that when God gives you a vision, he makes the provision.
He does, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He fits the bill.
He does, because I need to sow a seed to make, because I want I want my daughter to have more than I did. Now, mind you, my parents sent me to private school,
Right.
college education, the 9 horseback riding lessons, anything I could think of, my parents did for me. My mom grew up poor. My daddy always had, but they worked together and they
Right.
did what they had to do. But I want Anai to have more than I did.
Right.
So I may have to sow some seeds for some scholarships,
Yeah.
friend,
Definitely.
because
you know,
it has to come.
like I told persons in the pandemic, even after the pandemic, like during the pandemic, I was working. My mom was not working, and she was filling up my fridge.
Okay.
Like she had persons just calling her. Sometimes, Kenny, I stand on a line, and people notice that I'm my mother's child, and they say, "Miss Kelly, come this way."
Come this way.
So you see the importance of sowing good seeds.
I am telling you. I am telling you. I think some of the things that my mother would have done, I am reaping the benefit for now. And I also think that because of how my mother raised me, I am reaping the benefit now. Because when Mommy left, Mommy didn't leave me anything. Mommy left for Donovan and Anai, and that's what she did. But I think what Mommy left me was grit. I think what Mommy left me was the tenacity and the will, because my mother always said to me, Kenra, don't take nobody sugar, honey, iced tea. She was very clear with that. Mommy was always clear, when you go someplace, you don't sit in the back and nothing.
Right.
Go walk straight
So
to
they
the front.
can see you.
Mommy and my mother always said, jealous me. They Kenra, they gonna jealousy me. I don't know, but that was always my mother saying. I have a some text here, text messages. Where is the event? How do you get people to sign up? What time does the event start?
Okay, so all the information is on our website. That's
Okay.
www.beautyBeyondFeelings.com. You're able to sign up for the sessions. You're also able to register as well. The event is going to be on Saturday at the New Providence Community Center. That's Blake Road. So if you're heading west to the airport, that's the right on Blake Road, and then it's the first building to the right-hand side.
Well, that space is not free. So clearly someone had to either sow into you or you had to sow a seed, because that is not a free space.
So I have a hair business,
Okay.
and
Why you look at my head when you say you have a hair business? I bald.
no, I always loved your hair because you and my mom have the same hair. She likes her
Okay.
hair short, and then my mom is a 25-year-old, 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Awesome.
Shout out to Sharice.
Awesome.
So I also get that tenacity and that willpower from my mom, because I've seen her in her weakest still be strong.
Yes.
But to get back to your question, it's just something that I wanted to do. So the persons that have sewed, we have Vision Sign, we have The Right Dress.
I just went to Jasmine today.
Jazz is, listen to me,
I just went to Jasmine today.
there is nobody like Jasmine. Right?
No, Jasmine different. Jasmine is different.
Is different.
Yes.
And the first time I sowed my seed, she needed someone. She was doing like this wedding promo.
Right.
And she called me, and I said, okay. Never heard about her or her business, and it's been going on for so long. So she said, what is the price? I said, no price. Just let me know where it's going to be, And from there, it was like I had my wedding. I didn't have to pay for half of my things.
That's awesome.
She was like, gave me my runner. And she gathered my flower girl flowers. I said, the only thing Jasmine don't do is sell bodies. Jasmine does everything.
Yes.
Every time you talk to Jasmine has something else going on.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
give a big shout out to my brother Justin from Picture Perfect and also Ticket Flare. And also Innovative Developments. Want to give a big shout out to Tia Tony Design for showing up for me. And that's another person that sowed a seed in me because I sowed a seed in her. So you see how it works?
It's reciprocal.
It's reciprocal, and connections matter. And the way that you handle people and the way that you deal with people will show what kind of how harvest will look for you. So if you notice that only thing you're getting back is bad, you got to step back and say, okay, what kind of seeds am I sowing? And then that'll give you a perspective of where you're going, in your life. So a lot of the funding is coming from my hairstyling business, and then some are from family and some are from friends.
And people
small businesses.
people so into you. You work to work again. You give to give again.
I did this time for this event was everything went towards New Providence community. Like nothing came to me.
Good. I love that.
Every time someone came to me and asked me for the information, I gave them the New Providence community, and I said, just send me the receipt. So I give it out, they send me the receipt, and I send it to the lady, and she updates the invoice. So that's how it's been going around. So I don't want to be a part of anything, because I know is a greater good for this.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be. I love that. I love that for you. This question for you is: Are there harvests we receive that don't look like what we expect?
Sometimes harvests could come in small packages. They mean great. They mean well.
Okay.
Things that we don't expect. Sometimes you could say, okay, I think I should get more money than this. Mm-hmm. But it's not how much money we get, it's what we do with it.
It's what you do with it.
It's how you manage it.
It is how you manage it.
Where you delegate that money.
It is. Absolutely.
So it's like how whatever it means, however it looks for the person.
This text has nothing to do with this show. This text has nothing to do with this show. Listen, we ain't talking but no Junkanoo on the show today. Y'all, leave me alone. I am trying to stay the course.
Stay it.
I am really trying. Y'all leave me alone, please. Leave me alone. Do we have a caller on the line, Chris? Caller, good evening. You are on the air.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. You know you don't want to be left alone.
Why are they always bothering me?
Well, it's good to be bothered at times, I imagine.
I would think so. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I heard something that triggered my interest in that what goes up must come down.
Absolutely.
Well, I've been taught by astrophysics that every planet has an escape velocity. Earth's escape velocity, which the astronauts must exceed to get out of this atmosphere, is about 7 miles per second. And if you can generate enough lift at that level of speed, like 11 kilometers per second, you ain't coming back down because you're gone. Looking forward to it, but I just thought I should find out how you feel about the fact that once you can escape Earth's gravitational tug on you, you ain't coming back.
We ain't coming back at all? Not even in a cosmic sense or essence? We're not coming back?
Why would you want to come back if you can escape in the cosmic sense? But try this one on. You familiar with the story of the prodigal son?
Yes, I am.
All right. Suppose we assume that there was a conception before the birth, and that being about 8 months apart. So let's suppose now that person that was conceived was the one that stayed with God, which is supposedly 9 months older than you are. Mm-hmm. And you came through 9 months later, and you were pushed into this earth plane where you have to actually bring out an escape velocity to leave. But that person that stayed with God is your brother or your sister, your twin.
Right.
Just happen to be a little bit older than you. Now what happens is this. That person that stayed with God is the perfect part of you. The one that came on planet Earth that has to actually get to the point to escape this velocity is the one that goes through the tribulations that the prodigal son went through. But his other self stayed with God in the perfect form. So when he realized, I'm in all this filth, and where I left, meaning that moment of conception, I won't get back there, which means I will arise and I will go back to my father. And then he met his twin. Well, twin as in one a little older. Here is the challenge he had to face, and that was his either heaven or hell, in that the one that stayed with God built a kingdom, a perfect place. But he came down to this planet called Earth, where he was caught up in sin. And he realized that had he stayed, he would have been more perfect. And the challenge he had now was to spend time with his self that was perfect, and he had to now find a way to measure up to the standard of perfection. And that was hell. Because Earth has a velocity that you must escape in order to become like the one that stayed with God during the moment of conception.
And that
How
is
you
perfect.
feel about that?
That is perfect peace.
That is perfect, isn't it? Yeah. So I think if you were taught to realize that there's always that consciousness that's telling you, don't do this, don't do that, that's yourself, which is about 9 months older than you, trying to guide you, but you're not paying any attention. You're just following your soul that is trapped on planet Earth. But when you have an opportunity to leave, which most people are afraid to do because we call it, 4 seasons you must go through. You're born, you're moist, springing up and carrying on, and then you get hot that you go through with this puberty and all of the 4 seasons. Then you get dry, and then you get cold. And it's when you get cold that the escape velocity is easier to achieve. And you will find that when you get to that point, you will find yourself, which is a little older than you, that's perfect, and you now got to figure out, how am I going to introduce myself to perfection? Mind you, it's you, but the gulf between the two of you are so far apart because you actually dig this ditch on earth, caught up in it, have no way of understanding perfection. I'm looking forward to that day when I'm going to meet that self that's so perfect. I hope that I'm smart enough to live a life that I'm close to that level of perfection when I do, because it might be a little bit hellish for me to figure out, how am I going to become perfect now that I've been in hell?
Oh, wow. Well,
That's just my thoughts on it.
I thank you for your observation and your conversation. It's always good to get a different perspective. Thank you so much, and please continue to enjoy your Tuesday evening. That was a different concept. I mean, people think different things. Like Catholics believe in purgatory. There's a midway. Some people believe it's either heaven or hell. We have some more text messages for you. What does it say? Okay, so this question is for me. This isn't really even a question. This is more of a comment. Kenny, you don't seem like a staunch Roman Catholic. They seem rather boring and straight-laced. From we see you on Bay Street, we know that you like the charismatic type of stuff. Do you think that you moving to this other church is who you should be? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question, but I will say to you, texter, I am a Roman Catholic. I am not a paper Catholic. I am a Roman Catholic. I don't know how else to put that. We do have a Mass that is an 8:30 Mass, and the Mass is charismatic. We don't do Latin at that Mass. We have a regular Mass, and we have a drum. Francis Richardson is the choir director. I'm in the choir. Mr. Richardson, we have up-to-date music. We have a tambourine. I take off my shoes. I sing. I have a good time. And sometimes in going to the Catholic Church, you may not necessarily get a message from what the priest says, but sometimes your message is in the ministry that you contribute to. So I contribute to the music ministry, and maybe that is what I would get when I go there. Now, when I go to Life Changers Ministries, I get the music and I get the word. I'm not saying that I am not Catholic anymore, if that is what you're getting. I'm saying that that's where I go. I'm saying that I have not been in the Roman Catholic edifice since my mother left. I don't know if I'm able to go into the edifice because my mom, that's what we did, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for that. I don't know if I can handle that. Walking into St. Francis Xavier's Cathedral, and the last place that I saw her before she, and last time I saw her, it was an open casket, and now I don't know if I'm ready, if that answers your question. But I don't know if that answers your question, but John Canoe for me is, and what you see on Bay Street, that is my escape. That is my escape from reality. That is something that my father and I have done since I was 3 years old. I am 49 years old now. And so that is all that I know. I know John Canoe like the back of my hand. And so that is my couple of hours to escape my reality. And that is why I always tell people when they ask, well, who's going to keep your daughter? she's gonna go to her daddy, or she's gonna go to one of her godparents, probably Charlene, because that is my time for me. And I don't want to be bothered at that particular interval. I want to laugh and talk and dance and I want to do me. And so what you see on Bay Street is something entirely different from what I do in my regular life. And maybe I'm too passionate about Junkanoo, but that is what I love. And that is my piece, as weird as that may be, because Junkanoo is loud and colorful, but that is my piece. And I hope that I answered your question. But I hope I answered the question. So this is another question for you in regards to the event. Is there such a thing as planting without realizing that you are planting?
Yeah.
How?
It could be a conversation. And mid-conversation, you'd realize, hold on now. And even sometimes when I'm speaking to people, I don't realize sometimes what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, like sometimes I would just be having a conversation and I would just switch and I'd be like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to work out. And I did that to my coworker, I think last month. And she just burst out crying.
So are you still on the banking job?
No.
You left the bank altogether and this is you full time?
No, this isn't me full time, not yet.
Okay.
I think when it will happen in its time.
In its time.
But I got an executive assistant position for a director.
What the journalists say, that eight. Go ahead. I love that for you.
So you see, like, how you for yourself and how you, I mean, it was bittersweet because I really do miss my old boss. She was like the sweetest. I mean, Cindy Curtis, if you're listening, I love you to life.
Good.
She was an excellent boss. I learned so many things from her in the short time because I was in the compliance department.
Okay.
There were times when my uncle had passed away, and when I go to lunch and I come back, I would see flowers on my desk, and she would just give me a hug. And there were times when I know that she needed a minute, and I could see on her face, and I would just go and give her a hug, close her door, tell them just give her a minute. There were times when I would just, because I was the administrative assistant, so I would like put things under their desk, or when they come to work, I put something on their computer and say, you are special. You are seen, you are valued.
People like that.
People love that. And when I left, there were so many people that called my extension and they said, it has been a ball of fun, a privilege to work for you.
That is awesome.
The VP of Human Resources, she came to me, she said, you are always so kind, you always have a smile on your face.
That is awesome.
And I'm just grateful for the seeds that I've sowed. And understanding that seasons change. And, you know, I had a really good conversation with her, and I said, you know, you still have my text messages. Sometimes I send her pictures of Kenzo on his first day. Connections matter to me.
Connections matter.
And so when on my last day, we had a conversation with her boss, and she said, you know, Racquel is a breath of fresh air in the department. And that felt so warm.
Yes.
You know, coming from my leader. So it was not all bad.
It wasn't.
You know, but it left on a beautiful note.
And that's refreshing, because you have some female bosses that are just not it. And they think that they're bigger than the program.
Yeah.
But when this program switch on them, it's going to be something traumatic.
Yeah, she's short, but she's really, really short. And I still see her sometimes in Starbucks, and I still run to give her a hug, you know, because I miss those moments. But then I understand, you know, that some things doesn't last forever. But that's a lasting relationship that I built.
All right, so we are just about done for the night. But before we close, I want you to give people all of the information about Saturday. And the strangest thing about our show tonight, I was supposed to have my regular sex topic tonight.
My God.
And my guest canceled. So I wasn't able to have my regular sex talk, because this is the first Tuesday of the month. So first Tuesday of the month, we kick it off with sex.
Right.
Hot sex.
Right.
And so, but before I even got to you, because I said, I'll give you 10 minutes on the show.
Did. Mm-hmm.
I guess, but God had it so that he said, listen, we can give you the whole.
And I was driving in my car, and you text. I said, look at God.
Look at our Savior.
God.
Isn't that amazing?
I have and a lot of people have asked me for the past 2 weeks, how is it going? It's going.
It's
I know
going.
that God has everything in control, so I'm really not worried. And that was something that I gave up for Lent. Worrying.
Yeah.
You realize that it's not a good trait.
Right.
You know,
I love that.
You can't worry and have faith at the same
You
time.
can't. It's not a duopoly. It's one or the other.
No, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And so since learning that and going through that experience, I've learned to just trust in God.
You have to.
And whatever is the outcome, I guess He knows more than I know. Sometimes I feel like I'm ready for something, and then there's still Him building certain characteristics on the inside of me.
Right.
Which is patience, because I like a microwave. I need something quick. I need to see it now.
And I understand. I understand and by you saying that, well, as you said it to me and we corresponded, and I was like, send your information. The lady that does my show flyers for the show, she doesn't ask anything of me. We work together on several events. We work together. We are friends. And some people would say, well, listen, this is my time. This is my energy. I said, B, I need you to create a flyer for me. This is it. And she makes sure that I am there.
Yeah.
And for her spirit, she's sewing into me. I sew into her. When I post the flyers, I let them know Illustrative Artistry created my flyer. You want the flyer? You want flyers like this? Check me out. She got you.
Right.
But it's connection. It's cooperation.
Connection matters.
Connection truly matters. And anytime I say, hey, girls, I want to do something, they always got my back.
And I'm telling you, Kenny, coming back into this event space, because Mark Cartwright helped me a whole deal. Like, the things that I'm dealing with now, I never had to worry about.
Right.
Because we had a good production team. Kenny, you can't. There were cameras, like, sliding across the air.
Yes.
Like it was like legit on a different level.
Next level.
Right. And Mr. Cartwright, he unfortunately is coming back and forth, and so was putting on these events and not having that support. But, my good brother Justin, he has Picture Perfect. He has a lot of different companies. He said, Kelly, what is it that you need? This is my last event. I said, child, I need everything. And I just started listing off. And I just started seeing people come in the room setting up stuff.
Good.
And I said, Justin, what I need? He said,
it's nothing like having a good brother friend.
It's nothing like having a good brother friend.
Now, tell us that you have 1 minute to get us everything.
So Seed Time and Harvest is this Saturday. We start at 4 p.m. with our breakout sessions. And then between 5 to 6, we have our harvest market. And then from 6 until we have the event. You can go on www.beautybeyondfeelings.com. All the information is there. You can visit our Facebook and our Instagram page, Beauty Beyond Feelings. Just before we leave, I want to send a big shout out to our sponsors, which is S. Archer Photography, TNT Media, Tia and Tony Designs, The Right Dress, Innovative Development. Thank you all so much. And those who've sowed seed, even it's as small as $50, little is much when God is in it. If you want to be a part of the sewing for this event, you could just reach out to us, beautybeyondfeelings@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's going to be a fabulous event. God be with you. God cover you. God keep you. May His face shine upon you and your events. I would like to say this evening, it's another Sexy Tuesday, and I want to send a shout out to my very, 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 very small circle. It's almost like a dot. But Latrenda, Bianca, Charlene, Nicole, Lynette, thank you so much for standing in the gap for me. Thank you for the honesty that we have. What happens in Panama stays in Panama. I thank you, ladies. I appreciate each and every one of you. And to my Ruben, thank you so much for being there, for being a listening ear. So often in life, we don't ever get an opportunity to give people their flowers while they are here. But I'd like to give the ladies that stand in the gap for me their flowers. Please don't forget, Kelly, to pray for Charlie Barton. Please don't forget. Thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate you. I thank you. This is another sexy, balmy Tuesday. This is an opportunity for you to reconnect, to love on someone else. Get you some popcorn and get you some wine and put your leg over that special person. Ladies and gents, this has been Kenny's Corner. Sow a seed of love this evening. Guardian Radio 96.9. Fresh news, Smart Talk all day.
It's hard to get. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe somehow you win. You believe. They don't always happen when you ask. And it's easy to give in to your fear. But when you're blinded by your pain, can't see your way clear through the rain. Small but still resilient voice says hope is very near. Just believe. Just believe.